Hey guys, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Welcome to my channel where we're talking about how the narcissist can destroy and devour our souls. Please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. Today I'm just going to go into how can somebody honestly have an empty soul. So if you're like me, you fell in love with a narcissist and everything was perfect in the beginning and then things just slowly started to blow your mind. And looking back, there are things that he has said that kind of validated exactly what everybody on the web has been saying, how they're empty. They can go from you to the new supply in a heartbeat. They have promises of marrying you, things like that. But how is that even possible? A lot of times they have one parent who is providing everything they need, kind of over the top, and then a really strict parent. So it's kind of like a clash between the parents. They don't know exactly which end is up, and they start to feel empty inside. So they need to fill that emptiness, and they actually use people. But getting deeper into it, there are people out there that use people, but they honestly have no feelings, no remorse. And that was the hardest thing for me to grasp. Because if you're in love with somebody and you move forward, there's longing, missing, whether the relationship should have lasted or not. And looking back, the things that he had said, he said that he didn't love like other people did. He doesn't know if he's ever been in love. He doesn't know what that feels like. He feels things differently. Like he told me exactly what, if you read the classic definition, he spilled it all out. And in my mind, I couldn't process that. Like, how can you not feel like other people do? And I just thought maybe, you haven't found the right person yet. But looking back at how he could like click on and off in a heartbeat to just discard somebody after over a decade, ghost you, gaslight you, promises of everything, and then it just never even happened. The passion is extreme, the trauma bond is real, the silent treatment out of the blue can be extremely, extremely painful. Looking back, he had used that. He knew I was crying, he knew I was upset, and he would purposely wait. He knew my birthday was coming up, and he said, well, I figured we haven't talked in about a year. You've been calling me all the time. I was going to wait, and on your birthday, I was going to pick it up and talk to you. And we kind of got back together. But the thing is, like, he let me hurt another week. Like, he knew he'd answer the phone. There's times that I got laughed at for certain things, or like, what are you talking about? Of course I lied to you because of this situation, like, duh. And it was like I was made fun of, which is really hard to grasp. How could somebody be so cold, so misunderstood or misleading, and just laugh it off when you express your feelings? And just like I did every aspect of how are you not getting this? How does this not make sense? Why, I'm just trying to see if you're alive or dead. You were supposed to come to my house. Are you alive or dead? And silence until you get to a breaking point where you're like, I can't take it anymore. And then they finally break down and they'll talk to you. So there is such a thing as hoovering. As soon as they feel that they're losing control, they do hoover. And they come back into your life at the oddest times. And it can be, I was watching something on somebody else's videos on narcissism, and they had said, like, they just show up at your house. Like, who does that? And looking back, that's what happened often. So to understand how somebody can have such an empty soul, you got to look at the different things that they do throughout their lives. There was a time where we were kind of being intimate and he got a phone call. Why he answered it in the middle of it, I don't know. But anyways, his friend's son actually, or cousin son, something like that. There's a 2-year old, and the kid pulled a TV onto himself and ended up dying. And so he took the call real quick and he was like, "Oh man, that sucks." But got off the phone with them and he's like, "Now back to me," because we were fooling around. And it's like, there's a 2-year old that just died, and it was now back to me. So they do think about themselves a lot. Their top importance of the relationship. They don't really consider your feelings. They do blow you off. They don't feel they need to explain anything, even as much as, hey, I can't make it today. Not even telling me why. Like, I'm easygoing, but to just not even acknowledge you, to relate to how that might make you feel or how it might change the relationship. So it does, it starts to give you that devaluing process. You start to understand it. So you just ask common questions, like, next time, could you let me know? And either they take offense to that, or they give you an excuse, or they just don't do it. They'll promise it, and then the next time, and the next time, and the next time, the patterns really do repeat, and it's kind of a vicious cycle. And I really struggled with how to handle it. Um, do you leave? This is a person you have trauma bonded with. And I went through severe physical pain, mental pain, anguish, and just asking, like, just tell me if you're alive or dead. If you don't ever want to talk to me again, but last I knew you were on your way to my house. And it was a snowstorm, and they just don't even think that you're sitting there crying, worrying about them. They just pass it over as if it doesn't matter. So it starts to make you wonder, like, what is my value? We're friends or lovers or whatever we are, and we can't even communicate. Like, when you're easygoing and you're cool with just notify me, but then you get the silent treatment, things to them, any type of conflict or pressure. And that's just pressure of, like, hey, can you just let me know you can't come over? The pressure is overwhelming to them. They do not want any obstacles, any confrontation, so they just avoid it. And the silent treatment can be extremely painful because in the empath's mind, it's like, of course I'll give you the respect of canceling. Of course I'll let you know what's going on. And as far as deepening a relationship, they do keep it superficial. You'll get some common courtesy type words. I'm sorry, or I'm sure you're hurting, or things like that, but it's not the deep level. And you just always hunger for it. And they just can't relate to it, so they can't feed you. You can explain things. Explaining things to a narcissist, honestly, does not work. It does not work at all. Because, like I said, I tried for years upon years, and I don't want you guys getting caught in that trap where it seems like, the love was there, we get along, passion's amazing. Like, why is this not fixable? And talking about the new supply and looking back on everything that I said to him before I really started studying narcissism, everything I said was exactly what was revealed in my studies. It's kind of mind blowing because I had said the new supply has this and that, but we have a closeness. Like, we understand. Like, I understand him. I do understand him, and he's told me we're able to communicate. So I know him better than the new supply because it's all a facade. And I had said that, because I had moved from across state, and she just had a better supply list as far as friends and network. But I offered other things that should have made things better. And I said, you just took the opportunity to just get rid of any issues that we had, which were circumstantial, I guess. They did kind of make sense, but they were so overcomable. And the new supply, it's just starting fresh and new. Doesn't mean it's better, doesn't mean it's worse. So if you're wondering how you measure up against a new supply, it's just supply. She had a larger network of people who could feed into his ego, stroke it, adore him. He also felt like a hero, so he looked good in the community's eyes. And instead of just us being a couple, he's seen as a hero because of what he was doing. And it just kind of bleeds your soul where you're like, I did everything you asked, everything you asked. And then you're just discarded. You're not even told the truth. Time goes by, we were off and on. And, you do find out There is a harem garage, and it's so easy for them to just click. And I even said to him, there's no downtime. Like, you're instantly in a new relationship. There's no downtime. So reading all these things, listening to all these things, how they can't be alone, they can't. They need that supply. When I travel, I usually just kind of chill at the hotel, maybe do some computer work, go for a walk on the beach. I don't hang out at the bars. I don't need to be around people. I'm cool with myself. I might call a friend, but and I don't mind meeting people. But when he would travel, he was always going out to the bars, always hanging out with coworkers. And if he went to a town out of state, he'd always like go out, which I mean that's fine to do, but they can't be alone. And that's why they jump so quickly into other relationships because they do have that need. And when I was getting upset, it fueled the fire. I was doing little things to entice him. Uh, Me being upset to the point that I got that upset was such an ego boost. It wasn't like, hey, can you call me? I kind of miss you. Like, I was extreme, like some of us have been, but it didn't phase him. It actually stroked his ego, and to feed his supply even more, he ignored me more because he knew I would get upset. And as soon as I got to that breaking point, every time I got to I just can't do this anymore. That's when I would get a phone call. Like, I know he didn't want to lose me, but did he want to keep me? The new supply, we'll see what happens with that. But there is that devaluing. The words and phrases that they use either make you feel like you're crazy, it starts to eat at your soul, you think you're in a good place again, and the cycle continues. You try to have a nice conversation. You can have great conversations, but look at the depth of them. We've had a couple, but it's kind of mind blowing. Like, when they say that, they don't feel like other people, or they hear some devastating news and they're like, oh man, gosh, that's sorry, I'll call, or that's sad, I'll call you back. And then, like, now back to me within a second. There was no, like, oh, wow, my friend, this happened to them. It was just instantly, and it blew my mind. But it does happen. They do feel anger, they do feel negative feelings. They feel comfort when they're getting their fuel supplied. But as far as like a deep love or deep connection, it's almost like they feel unworthy, I think, because I know I was really good to him. And he had said like he couldn't believe I was with him. Um, you know, just like his mind was kind of blown. And we ended up having really good conversations, really good times. But as far as when major things happened, it was either gaslighting, it was either avoidance, communication. I even said, look, we communicate differently. I understand who you are, but like every now and then, like, I'm just asking my friend if I can have a phone call. And I even explain, like, if you can't, just tell me you can't. It's really not that big of a deal, but I'm trying to communicate with you. And my friend can't communicate back with a yes or no. So it's like, are we even friends if we can't say, yeah, I can call you? So it starts to eat at you. Like, what is going on? Like, we're cool, we're not cool, we are, but you can't call me. I don't, it's not an argument. And it just starts to eat at you. And after things ended, it was me finding out. Like, I thought we were on a good place. And I found out about the new supply, and it was devastating. So we had talked about it, a lot of gaslighting, a lot of twisting of truths, and it took months, months to kind of have the real story revealed. So they're master manipulators. They carefully construct their words. They make you feel like you're crazy, or things didn't happen, or that's not what they said. Things from the past, talking to them, you're like, but wait, I thought you said this and that never happened. Like, it, starts to make you feel crazy. Like, I have a really good memory. Like, what's really going on, and then you don't know what to believe is the truth. Was the past the truth? Was the current situation the truth? And it makes you question your own truth. So narcissism will bleed out your soul. And as long as you hang in there, I know I've done that. Um, you're in love with someone. You would do anything for them. And to just be turned off like a light switch. And I had even gotten this thing where it had said that a man is ready for a relationship, not when it's kind of like it doesn't matter who the right woman is. It doesn't have to be the prettiest, doesn't have to be the smartest, the richest, whatever. He's just, when he's ready, it's just basically whoever's there. And it's kind of like that was the situation. I was out of state helping family, and we were supposed to be together forever. But since I went out of state, new supply was easy, it was available. Like I said, there was no downtime. Like over a decade relationship, way over. And it's like, I just got ghosted. And you're you're saying, look, I'm out of state. I just want to know you're alive. And there's several times where I'm like, dude, I just want to know you're alive. And you would think, even if you're mad at somebody, if somebody thinks you're dead and they care about you, that they would at least say something, even if it took them maybe a week. And then things work out. You start seeing each other again. That Hoover happened, and things are going good again. And maybe you say something wrong. Maybe you're a little too demanding. And I'm not talking about like demanding, but just, can you go with me to so and so's dance recital? You just want a yes or no. Like you want them to go with you, but they see it as confrontational because they might say no, and we not like I don't know. So definitely be careful if you guys are longing for this narcissist to come back, because they will hoover, and their relationships do fall apart because they just have such a toxic way of communicating with people. So for me, it took a long time, because when you love someone, it's not all about receiving. Like I give and I give and I give. And it'd be nice if it was 50-50, but when it's, not even really 95-5, like I gave 95%. Like, can't can't we change the balance a little bit? Just out of respect. So there's so many personality things that line up with narcissism, that those are red flags. Pay attention to those red flags. Don't get caught up in the vicious cycle, because it was physically painful for months. Like physically painful. Crying, wailing, trying to get over this, trying to understand it. And it was that painful even while we were still talking, because it's like, okay, cool, things are good. How's your day going? Silence for a week or 8 days. And you're just like, hey, just checking in. Can you give me a phone call? Like, what's up? I'm not trying to be needy. And then you start like trying to explain, like, I'm not being needy. This is totally cool if you can't. And it starts making you feel like you're crazy. And it changed the way I talked to him, which is very devaluing. And I had even said to him, I have to lessen myself so much just to communicate with you, because you're explaining I'm, easygoing. I'm not overpowering you. I'm okay with no's. It's okay to say no to me. You have a safety net. Like, I'm just trying to communicate with you. Whatever you say is fine. You don't have to disagree with me. And you're just going in these vicious cycles, explaining yourself and just wondering, like, we know each other. We know each other. You'll acknowledge a stranger more than you acknowledge me. And we were supposed to have a life together. We never had a fight. We didn't break up because of a fight. It's just, I just wasn't there. And I wasn't there because I was helping a family member till he got us our place. So just be aware. Keep learning. I'm going to keep posting videos. So if you found some meaning in this, please like and subscribe. I will be walking you through this. Please comment below on some things that you've noticed as far as the pattern of what their narcissistic traits are, what their new relationship is like? Is it falling apart? Because they will. They'll love bomb. They love bomb me. Come over with flowers, drop of a hat. A lot of times they don't let you know when they're coming over. Um, for me, it was a call when he was just pulling up in my driveway. Like most people, when they know they have to drive a half hour, they'll call you as soon as they leave the house, like, hey, I'm going to be in town. Do you think I can come over? As opposed to, it's almost like trapping you. Like, hey, what are you doing? And you're like, oh, not much. Cool. I'm outside. So what do you do? So let me know some of the things that you've gone through, and let's get through this together. So please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.